Hello, hello, you guys, and welcome to another story time brought to you by ABC Read and ABC Learn, in which we are here to help you develop and nurture that love of reading in every child as well as every adult. How are you all doing out there today, evening, whatever time of day it is, wherever you are around the globe? I hope that you all are just doing absolutely splendid. And I hope that you all have read or you're planning to read for at least 30 minutes, y'all. All right, that's what's up. And you guys, do me a favor, write in the comment section below what books you are currently reading. And I'll let you guys know what I'm reading. I am reading a book, and it is entitled The Warmth of Other Suns, and it is by Isabel Wilkerson, and it talks about the Great Migration. All right. And that migration, the one that they're talking about, is the one that happened right here in America. And this was the biggest migration that ever occurred in America. And that is when Black people have moved from the South to get away from the horrible tortures of the Jim Crow and the racist laws against Black people, and the torture, the lynchings, the beatings, all of that stuff. And it was over 6 million Black people who had left from the South to migrate or move to the North. All right. And even though when they got to the North, they still realized that racism was everywhere. All right. Unfortunately. And unfortunately, we're still dealing with that today. But guess what? Why you all are here, you all are being empowered through reading. And one of the things that can eradicate or get rid of racism, in my opinion, is that we are educating ourselves as well as our children about the sick history that this country has been founded on in terms of racism and dehumanizing people of African descent as well as Native Americans as well. And we have to empower our children as well as ourselves as adults through reading. So when we learn about these things, we get educated about these things, then hopefully, God willing, they will not be repeated. Okay? And so let me share with you guys this quote from Marian Wright Edelman. And that quote is, education is for improving the lives of others and for leaving your community and world better than you found it. All right, so that quote pretty much summed up what I just said before it, right? So we're about to get it on and popping right now. I am about to read chapter 27, okay, of this book. We are basically halfway through this book now, A Fish in a Tree. And the main character, if this is your first time here, her name is Allie Nickerson, all right? And Allie Nickerson, she is struggling with reading, okay? She cannot really read well. She has a reading disability called dyslexia, but she has been holding on to that. Of course, she doesn't know that it's called, she has a reading disability. She's not said that. All she know is she struggles every time she tries to read something. It's like the letters are just like looking crazy to her. It doesn't make sense. All right. And she feels embarrassed by it. It's affecting her self-esteem. Now, thankfully, so far in the book, she has two awesome friends, Albert and Keisha. All right. And, they pretty much are the kids who are considered misfits or whatever you want to call them. They don't fit in. But guess what? They don't care, except for Allie. Now, Allie is still struggling with that. She's still struggling with the fact that she's not, quote unquote, fitting in with these other kids. And again, the main reason for that is because of her not being able to read. All right, so now I'm going to read chapter 27, and this chapter is entitled Half Baked Afternoon. Keisha invites Albert and me over to her house for a surprise. When I arrive, Albert is already there, and Keisha is wearing a baker's hat and apron. So when do we eat? Albert asks. No free ride here, Albert. We have to cook first, Keisha says, putting a cookbook on the table. Albert seems disappointed. You'll be able to eat. Don't worry. And in the meantime, think of this as a science experiment. So it's two of your most favorite things, Albert. I'm pretty happy until she opens the cookbook and slides it over to me. You're in charge. Of what? The recipe. What do you think? What? Is she kidding? And Albert, you can be in charge of rolling the dough. Going to try cookie dough today to see if the letters cook at a similar rate to cake. I'm freaking out over here having to be in charge of the cookbook. I'd rather be in charge of teaching cats to play hockey. And my mind spins into that mind movie. When I start laughing, Keisha asks me what I'm doing. I have to shrug, push the picture of a goalie cat with skates and a mouth guard out of my head. Allie, Keisha pokes me. Yeah? I asked, what's the first thing? Albert appears next to me. I'd rather do the book. You want to trade, Allie? You can roll out the dough. Sure, Albert, if that's what you'd rather do. I don't mind switching. Albert begins reading the ingredients while I roll out the cookie dough. It's sticky and hard to roll. Keisha points to a package of flour. Hey, sprinkle some of that on. I managed to get the dough rolled out, but I have my doubts about all of this. I look at the alphabet cookie cutters she uses to make letters. What do you want me to spell? Well, the letters are kind of big for cupcakes, so it can only be three-letter words. Spell whatever you want. I spell cow because it's the first word I think of. Then we stand the letters up in the bottom of each cupcake mold and cover them with batter. Once Keisha slides the first batch into the oven, Albert asks, Can I have some milk? Keisha shrugs. Sure, she says, taking a glass and filling it. Albert gulps it all down and asks, May I possibly have some more? We switch to water at home. I really miss milk. She hands him the gallon. Help yourself. He sits with the milk and wraps his arm around it like he's protecting it. I laugh. You're not getting that back, Keisha. I hope you know. I have a question, Albert says after licking the milk from his lips. If you spell cow inside a cupcake, can a vegetarian eat it? Boy, Keisha says, you really take everything seriously, don't you? Hey, I turn to the oven. Is it supposed to be smoking like that? Keisha pulls on a mitt. When she opens the door, smoke fills the kitchen. The cupcakes have oozed all over the tops of the pans and fallen on the bottom of the oven. It's a mess. She groans. Oh, man. You should wait until the oven cools before you wipe it, Albert says. Keisha turns to him. Yeah, thanks, Albert. You're welcome, he says, and she rolls her eyes. She's disappointed that cookie dough will not work for letters. She and Albert figure out that the cookie dough expanded more than we thought it would, and that's why it made such a mess. But I just keep thinking that whenever I write something, it turns into a big mess. The end of chapter 27. Half-baked afternoon, right? Oh my goodness. Oh wow. And you guys saw that, right? You see how Allie was saved by her friend Albert. He decided he wanted to read the cookbook. It makes me kind of wonder if they already know that, well, if Albert knows rather that Allie is struggling with her reading. What do you guys think? What are your predictions? Because I thought that was just pretty interesting. He just came in and saved the day for her, right? Because she's dealing with trying to hold that in. And hopefully it will be a happy ending to this story, and Allie will be able to come to grips and really own the fact that she needs help with her reading. Okay, and that's a lesson for all of us out there. All right. I hope this book is really, really helping you guys out there. So, with anything that you may be struggling with, anything that you may need help with, remember you can't hold that in. It's best to be able to go seek the help that you need. And trust me, you will be better for it later on. All right. So, you guys continue to like, subscribe, and share our videos. And remember to keep reading for at least 30 minutes a day. Happy reading, family. Peace.